Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hello, YouTube. Welcome to the RTR United First podcast. This is gonna be like kind of like a Christmas special. It's your boy Saint Curtis, and I'm with the one and only Trinity.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
How's the day been, bro?
It's been good. It's been good. I've been sleeping most of it. You know, I be working at that casino a lot. So.
Facts. Yeah, bro. Overnight's tough, bro.
Overnights can be tough, but that money's good.
Facts. That's kind of like the thing that low-key holds. Yeah, bro. That junk holds a lot together. You're good to roll, bro. All right, for sure. So, growing up, how was your family's kind of like tradition with Christmas? Like, how did they go about their Christmas?
That's actually an interesting question because my family did have it a little bit different. See, my mom came from the Czech Republic, so she got her citizenship when I was about 5th grade.
Word.
Prague, like the capital. Yeah, it was really beautiful.
Okay.
Yep. It's definitely a cultural hotspot of Central Europe. My mom, she would celebrate Christmas a day ahead. So when we would have Christmas, our Christmas Eve was a day early usually. So like when people would open presents on Sunday, I would open them on Saturday because that was like my mom's country and that's when they were having Christmas.
What? So did you ever have like any like friends over, bro? And
No,
they're like,
no.
"Yo, oh right, bro." But you said you got to open it a day earlier.
A day earlier, yeah.
Oh, so I bet everybody else was hating.
Well,
Facts.
yeah,
They're like,
they
"Oh
definitely.
dang, bro. Oh dang, bro. I ain't even get to. I ain't even get to start playing that game yet.
Right,
Bro. I ain't even get
right.
the console."
But let me tell you, my mom, she also made cookies, like specific cookies from the Czech Republic. Now,
Right.
my dad would eat them. My mom loved them. I did not like them.
Dang.
This is considering that this is like a very special like Czech dish.
Bro.
She would always be like, "I need you to have at least one, bro." And I'd feel
Bro.
so bad. I feel so bad because I genuinely I don't like that powdered sugar.
Bro, they always try to, bro, when they're going to make the cookies, bro, when the powdered sugar goes on there, bro, it is a do not touch for me, bro. If you're not, if bro, like facts,
You know.
because what does it do? What does it do, bro? Like, what does it literally do? Makes it a hint sweeter, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't have enough decoration sprinkles. You feel me? Like, what's going on, bro? What's going on with that?
And the bread felt kind of. I hope my mom doesn't
Bro,
see this.
facts.
She might not like
Yeah, I
me
know.
through this podcast.
Yeah,
But
bro, was it that?
no,
Like 1 out of 10, bro. 1 out of 10.
my mom. Most people probably would like it, right? But it's also like a festive dish. It's my people from the Czech Republic would probably really enjoy it because my mom is a good
Okay.
cook. I will say that.
For
My mom makes
sure.
good.
Just the cookie situation.
It's just the cookie situation. Something that I wasn't used to texture wise. It was a different texture of cookie.
Right. Okay. Different texture of cookie. Heard.
Yeah. But what about you?
Well-
How was your Christmases?
Well, for me, bro, it was like, I feel like Black Friday was the Christmas. You feel me? Like, yeah, bro. Like the Black Friday was the Christmas. Everything you shop for on Black Friday, you pretty much they would package it up, and that would be the Christmas. You know, there wouldn't really be any extra here and there's only from like us, the kids, but like the food, bro. That's real. That's really what it is, bro. The food, the waking up in the morning to get the feeling. I live in Florida, bro. I'm from Florida, so like hot chocolate, bro.
Okay.
Like, you know, but like hot chocolate's kind of whack for us, bro. Like I've had
Okay.
85 degrees Christmases, bro.
That's fair.
85-degree
That makes a lot of
Christmases.
sense.
Yeah, it's honestly, you know, when you're drinking hot chocolate on the porch and you're sweating, bro. Have you ever been
Right.
there, bro? Like it's kind of wild.
No.
It's a wild feeling, bro. I'll tell you that. It is a wild feeling.
I bet it is. See, I'm from Missouri, so it gets really cold. It gets like the weather shifts, so I couldn't imagine like a warm Christmas where I could go to the beach. That's just like foreign to me.
Facts. Yeah, I would only imagine, bro. Like, and then the worst part about it, bro, is like you're sitting there, You're drinking your hot chocolate. You're sweating your freaking balls
Right.
off. And then you're listening to I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. I'm like,
Right.
bro, where,
Right.
bro? I'm
Where?
looking at palm trees, bro. I'm looking at palm trees right now, bro. Swiping the sweat off my forehead, bro. And I'm like, I'm dreaming. I'm like, I wish, bro.
I am dreaming.
Like, literally, I'm dreaming.
That's pretty funny.
Right.
That actually has me wonder, right? So, you know how I have a minor in history, and you know how we're talking about Christmas right now. So, what do you think? So, you're talking about Florida, and I'm thinking near the equator. What do you think Egyptian Christmases would have been like?
Bro, I actually know a little bit about Egyptian Christmases. Their Christmas tradition started around like 3000, like 3100 BC to 30 BC. That's when their like kind of Christmassy tradition started. It actually was on the day of the 25th, December 25th. But it marked for them, it was the rebirth of the sun. That's what the Egyptians called theirs. And yeah, this started about like 30 BC all the way to 3100 BC.
Can I pause real quick?
Kind of era. Yeah.
Yeah. So you were talking about Christ type stuff, right? And that's I find that to be interesting because the day of Christmas, we're talking about the sun being reborn. And and so anyways, continue though. I just thought that was an interesting.
Yeah, it is an interesting connection because they did actually call him the Son of God. They like celebrated like a whole rebirth thing. Are you familiar with Horus? Horus, the name Horus. So Horus was like divided off of this lineage. He was the son of pretty much. They say the sun god is Ra.
Yeah.
And his son would be Horus. And then they were saying that he is the son. So that's kind of like where their whole spiel came from. It was during the winter solstice. And the funny thing about winter solstice, when I was looking up about the winter solstice, it did not emulate in my mind. It did not form that.
Wait,
the winter solstice, bro. The sun is just sitting there, bro. It's just sitting there, bro. I did not know the sun pauses like that.
Wasn't Horus born to the Virgin Isis?
He actually was. So that's the stories. I mean, like some people let it really fall where it does, but yeah, it would be. He was said to be born of the Virgin Isis. So yeah, it's a little bonus nugget, but yeah. So when the sun reached a certain point, it just sit there, and it would be like Alaska. You know how Alaska, for like months at a time, the sun just doesn't go up.
Yeah.
It's like dark there for a long time, and then it's like day there for a long. Yeah. And I feel like this happened in ancient times. They really couldn't like explain it, so they just lumped any type of nature behind it. That's what the famous trend of what they would do is. Anything that would happen, they would kind of form it into a more spiritual concept.
Okay.
So but I didn't know that completely went over my head. I'm like, so you're telling me the sun's just revolving around the world, and then it's just like, okay, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna chill here for a little bit. I'm gonna catch a little break here because I'm a little bit hurt. You feel me? It's been a long year, you know. So he's just chilling there, and I did not know that he would do that. I did not know that the sun was doing that. And then when I was looking up the solstice, I was like, so this whole time y'all been saying all the solstice, northern lights, the sun's just chilling? Like he gets a day off, you feel me? I did not know that it worked like that.
Right.
Facts. What about you, bro? Like ancestors, I think like Slavic, like Norse kind of. What is that? What do you think Christmas is like that?
So Christmas, we'll get into that. I'm actually going to go into. I have a little bit of Italian Greek ancestry.
Oh,
too,
really,
so
really.
real quick.
Okay, heard.
The Greeks, they had this. I don't know if people know, but there was a party god called Dionysus.
Party god, bro. Party god.
Yeah, all about the party, and he made wine. That was like his primary thing. about orchards and fruit, fertility, the festivals, some ritual madness, religious ecstasy.
So
These
that
are
was
things
that was
attributed to
so
him.
that was LSDZ before LSDZ. For those of
Yeah,
you that get
exactly.
that, you get that. You feel me? Shout out
RTR things.
LSDZ, bro. Shout out
Yep,
LSDZ.
yep. Shout out to LSDZ. Also, I would like to say that Dionysus was called the savior for some reason. He wasn't really like, he was also
Really?
seen as a free father in certain Roman festivals.
Okay, so did they celebrate that around Christmas time too?
Yeah, usually they celebrate that December 25th, ironically. um,
Really?
yeah, and so this is a very close correlation to like Christmas we have today. Um,
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
so the way with the presents, the gift giving, that being thankful, the celebration mentality of it, that's the festival, the feasting aspect of it. That's where that comes
so
from.
I hope that they didn't like all these. Okay, so December 25th, December 25th. The
Mm-hmm.
the Christ comes along and they're like, "Yo, we already got something going, you boy. You want to kind of join the club?" How is that campaign? Like, how is that campaign for like the people around Christ to be like,
Mm,
"Yo, let's go ahead and do what they're doing." You know what I'm saying? They got it
right.
on that day, or do they just not
Mm-hmm.
know and it's just like, okay, this is the
Oh,
day for every single.
they definitely know. They definitely know. In my opinion, that is my opinion. I think that it is just the game of telephone over time.
Heard. Okay, so you think that like they got news that over there they're doing it around this time and they're like, yo, we got our own, you know, so
Right.
we're gonna
And
do
then,
ours
of
around this
course,
time.
cultures were beefing, cultures were trying to prove they were the greatest, so they had similar religions, similar gods, but their gods would combat each other's gods. And then usually back in those ancient times, let's say Rome conquers a place. Well, Rome's actually a bit different. Most societies would actually just destroy your gods and your culture, because then it's like your god wasn't enough against my god, so they would just
Right.
destroy those.
Because
Yeah.
before that, like before nowadays, like the separation of church and state, that would pretty much be their government. Like
Yep.
that whole atmosphere would pretty much be their government. Like we don't really realize like how much of an effect that has on like the mental for like the law to be what we call nowadays
Even
religion. Yeah.
bloodlines even. But hey, I'm gonna digress real quick, and I'm gonna ask you, what was your favorite present of all time? What would you say your favorite present that you received?
Okay. I've received. I am married, so I received a lot from my wife.
Right.
I
Okay.
received a lot of gifts from my wife, but
And if you don't know, if you want to think.
well, okay. I would say the best Christmas gift wouldn't be the one that I received, more so the one that I gave, because that Christmas experience probably meant like the most to me.
Okay.
It was when I took my wife to Builder Bear Workshop. So for those of you that don't know what Builder Bear Workshop is, or if you know, it pretty much is this place where you get this like different type of animal, stuffed animals, and you actually get to make the stuffed animal. So we went there, we got a bear, you know, this was my first time ever going. And yeah, bro, we made the stuffed animal and then we got him like a little Christmas outfit. Yeah, it was perfect. It was perfect, man.
How much does it cost to do a Build-A-Bear?
Bro, it's you get them decked out. It's under $100. So like it's a pretty
Okay,
decent present,
okay.
you know.
And
And it just
how did your
and
wife
it's
like
more
it?
yeah, it's more of the sentimental value. Like that was
Yeah,
like
something that doesn't die.
our stuffed animal son, you know. And then we got like the little
Yeah,
voice box, like where you click in and then you can leave a little message.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
the voice box goes out after a while, but you know it's still good. It's still good to have.
Yeah, right. It's a memory
Right, it's a memory, 100%.
that won't die. You can
Right.
get flowers, and women love flowers.
Yo,
And if you have a girlfriend, I would definitely say get her
you
flowers
gotta
at some
you
point.
gotta do the
She'll
flower
appreciate
thing at least once because you never
it
know
at least
before
once.
then you could be the first flower. You could be the very first
Exactly.
flower.
She's ever received. You
Right.
will actually be surprised how many women have not received flowers from men. So, um, anyways, but I want to, like the Elf on the Shelf.
Bro, so I did not know about the Elf on the Shelf. I didn't even know that that concept even existed. Uh,
It's such a weird
Bro,
concept to me.
it is, bro. It's like almost like, so I'm a little kid and I'm waking up and there's this thing that's like, it's like Chucky vibes, but peaceful. But peaceful. So you know what I'm saying? It's a little bit of both. It's very mixed there, like when you're talking about the
Yeah.
Elf on the Shelf. Yeah, because it's like the doll and then it's shifting in different places for all right, so those, if you don't know what an Elf on the Shelf is, it's pretty much like a little elf doll. And the parents will move the doll around, it's kind of, oh, the doll's in the kitchen, it's in the bathroom, and the kids don't know. It's like a Santa thing. We never really know. So they're not aware of it yet. So you're just popping up and you're seeing this elf in different spots. And I guess when you find it, you get like candy or a prize or whatever. I couldn't do it. I could not do it. I could not use the bathroom, turn around to the sink, and see something there that's not
In the
supposed to be there.
darkness.
That's not
Yeah.
supposed to be there. I'm like, yeah,
That actually,
you got it. You
ironically enough that you're talking about that, my mom did get like one of those jester dolls with like the handles and shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
For what,
and
though?
it was a Christmas theme, kind of very similar to an Elf on a Shelf. And yes, it was terrifying for me. I would have nightmares of it, and we can get into nightmares another time.
Right,
but
100%.
it was yeah.
So when you had that, did it like scare you at all? Like you just wake up and you're like, dude, why is this in here?
Yeah.
Get this out.
Because this was before I had done wrestling, so I would, have the midnight where I'd wake up and I would want to get a drink of water as a kid. And I would go out and I would like see the Christmas tree flashing its lights, and in the lights I would see the shadow of like the jester doll hanging up. And just like seeing that imagery would just be like unsettling as a kid, just trying to get water at midnight.
I feel like sometimes the shadow's worse than the actual object, bro.
No, yeah, it is actually
100%.
sometimes.
100%.
But you like, I would look at it and it has that like blank stare, and it looked very similar to like a person but not a person, that vibe.
Oh yeah.
And I'm a kid.
Oh yeah,
so
that's
it's
the worst. But
Yeah.
that's the worst part. It's like because your brain kind of like tricks you, and it's like, yo, that thing actually looks like something, and then that kind of
Right.
middle groundness is a bizarre feeling to feel.
Imagination.
Right. But something kind of similar to the Elf on the Shelf, the Spanish actually had this tradition. It's called the cagatio, and it's a defecating log. So they would take this log and put it like in the dining room or somewhere like around the tree, and these kids, they would stuff different candies, sweets, and nuts inside of it, and like throughout the Christmas. And
Almost like they were feeding it, or
exactly,
like
literally like they were feeding it. So it was like kind of sentimental. They're like, oh, we're feeding the log, so they feed this. Yeah, so they feed this log, give it back, and then at the end, bro, they start smashing it, bro, like obliterating this log to get all the candy out. So like it comes, all right, so it's a pet turned pinata, you know what I'm saying? Like these
yeah.
traditions are actually kind of wacky. There's another one in Ukraine, I believe, and it was like this woman, she couldn't really afford Christmas decorations. So
Okay.
she went to sleep one night and she woke up like early before dawn. So before dawn, she wakes up and she looks at her Christmas tree. It's covered with spider webs, and that's pretty much all. She didn't have any decoration, so it's covered with spider webs. And the sun starts to rise, and then when the sun starts to beam on the spider webs, they begin to turn into like gold.
Oh.
And yeah, so the woman actually got money out of that. So in Ukraine, they decorate their trees with spider webs in honor of the legend.
Think about spider
Right,
webs
that would be
turning into gold.
nice.
That'd be
So
nice.
like, all right, so thinking about like spider webs turning to gold. All right, so would you rather get money instead of a Christmas present? Like, would you rather like, all right, bro, just give me like $500 and let me go to the mall and like spend all I can spend, or get like a $500 worth Christmas present?
Honestly, I would rather take the money in that situation, just because there's times that like someone bought me a gift and then someone else didn't know, so I got the same gift and I have to act like I really appreciate the
Whoa,
same gift
I've never
the
been
same
given the
way.
same gift. I don't believe I've ever been gifted like the exact
Hmm.
same gift.
Usually it's like video games
Right.
because I'm a big gamer, so it'd be like my aunt wouldn't communicate with my parents. Like, I'm not mad about it, but
But that's
you
two
know, they
video
would just
games,
send
right? That's two
over
video games.
like a game. Right. So I'm like, what do I want to do with it except return it, you know? And I feel bad because it's just like I don't need
100%.
two versions of the same game. But my grandparents would always send me money on Christmas, and that money was always really nice because it would be like you said, it wouldn't be $500. It would be like 100, $200, but that feeling would be like really good because I'm like, yo, I can get food with that money. I could go watch a movie that
It
I
gives you a lot
want,
more
you
freedom.
know, because
It
you
gives you
can't
a lot
pay
more
for the movie
freedom. I can see
tickets
that.
through a gift. Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yep.
I actually,
But what about you?
I feel like some presents, like some people really know how to give gifts. Like I definitely feel like some people like really will
Yeah,
pick out the things that you forgot about. You know, like those things that you have said once and you forgot
absolutely.
about it, and someone will get that for you. So I feel like I could definitely take
Right.
presents. But that kind of made me have a theory. Like maybe what if like there's like the naughty or nice list. So if you're good and you're not on the naughty list, you're on the nice list. What if like you received money all year, like the government or someone like you received money for being on the nice list instead of the naughty list, or like even to take it a step
Okay.
further. Have you ever seen that Black Mirror episode where like the between the things they do in society, they like go up points or they go down points? Well, yeah, so
I have
it's
not
pretty
seen
much
it.
like this community concept where life is like advanced further in the future, and they're pretty much getting points to that rank them higher for doing good things to other people, to in the stores, doing like good in society, right? Almost like a credit
Almost like a
system, but
credit
like it's
system.
like their social media as well. So it deducts points if
Hmm.
you do anything too shabby. It's really high rating like on your everyday life. So like what if they swap that and like you got like bonus points if you were good all year, or you got deducted points if you were bad all year? How do you think that
Yeah.
would change stuff up?
It would definitely make changes in society. People would seek to look better, at least, for sure. I don't know if they would always be better, but the idea of losing money if you're bad, people are going to try to not lose money, or if they lost money, it just make them not respect the system more.
Okay, so all right, maybe so, but I feel like if Santa came into a house and he didn't see cookies, he wouldn't be mad. You feel me? So I feel that kind of way about it. Like you know how I feel like he wouldn't be pressed about it, but he'd always
Well,
enjoy cookies.
you wouldn't be pressed about it, but now that you're talking about cookies and milk, according to like what the History Channel had said, parents did encourage their kids to leave cookies, and this was like times during economic hardships, like the Great
Word,
Depression. That's
word,
kind of when
word.
these things started to kick in. And so this would just kind of be a subtle reminder for the families to be grateful for what you have and try to give back a little bit, you know, so that you may receive way more gifts, because, you know, in that time people were very scared and they wanted to have what they had because they were losing everything and the value of
Wow.
everything was
So
decreasing.
so man, so but like
But
being in the Great Depression, it's like yo, I don't got no food in my stomach, and I'm finna leave cookies out for Santa.
mhm,
That's some true giving, bro. That's
right,
literally some true giving.
right. Right. And so, and we know, I'm not going to really spoil anything about celebrations and festival holidays, but you know, probably it helped every
A hundred
aspect of the
percent.
family. It just was
Right.
it was a
You know.
morale booster for the family to do that action of giving so that they could all give back to each other.
But when you do that in
Even in
today's
those times of
society,
hardship.
sometimes where like you still give, it's like that one person that doesn't give because, and then like everybody else in the community is looking at them like, hey, yo, so and so did not give their cookies, didn't give their cookies and milk.
Right. But that could also lead to domino effects of people being like, I don't want to either. But and it just
Right.
that's
So,
where schisms
so what do
can
you do
occur.
in that? Do you just like make sure everybody has cookies and milk to give to Santa, or? I know sometimes it's like, oh, hand them out at school, and then put them on there, or you make them like that, just so everybody will have some cookies and milk to give to Santa, or Santa just wouldn't be mad that there's no cookies and milk. Like he's like, how am I supposed to eat all this? You know?
Right, right. So, ironically, I'm gonna just say this I'm gonna go into this, all right? So it's like, you're talking about like, what if they don't want to
Yeah,
give, right?
repercussions maybe.
Just give me 1 second. My girlfriend is currently telling me that she got off
I know
work,
how
so
I know
you know
how
how
it be,
that be.
bro.
Just like the wifey thing. But you were talking about what were the repercussions, right?
Right, yeah. So what would be like the repercussions of not doing right in those scenarios?
So yeah, actually, I'm gonna go into that. So Germany has, and I'm sure people have at least heard of this, is Krampus.
Krampus. Yeah, facts. Okay, so what isn't he just like the villain version of Santa? Like what's going on there?
Yeah, so Krampus is pretty interesting.
Word.
So some of the origins behind Krampus, they believe that this group called the Moors, which was an ancient Islamic medieval society, a congregation of people.
Bro, that's
Uh,
crazy that you said the Moors, bro. Like there are so many crazy conspiracies about the Moors,
yeah,
bro.
I
Like,
believe they were in Spain. I believe they
yeah,
had a lot
they
of,
say that the Moors were everywhere, bro.
yeah. So they had gone to European coasts because at this time the Moors were very developed, powerful nation. This was a very developed, powerful nation at the time. And they would go and raid European coasts and have European slaves. And that's where the idea and the origin of this Krampus figure came into play. But Krampus didn't really get popular until the 17th century, so the 1600s.
Bro, that's
And
crazy
that's
how they make them Krampus though. Like,
right.
bro, can you imagine that? Like, that stuff happens every day. Like, homie pops up in New York, takes a couple of things, and he's Krampus now. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
But like,
right,
still,
right. The symbolism behind it.
I could
Yep.
see it 100% though. Like, I could see it 100%.
There was a
Because
fear aspect.
slavery, like, like that's a little rough. You
Yeah.
know, I'd be like,
It is definitely tough.
especially around Christmas time. It's like, dude, we're expecting milk and cookies, and we got Krampus, bro. Like, no sir.
We're trying to have golden webs, bro.
Right,
Like,
I'm
what you
trying
talking
to
about?
decorate my tree with webs, bro. And this dude coming in,
No.
yeah, he's Krampus.
And that's why Krampus is usually like a darker goat figure, probably, right?
Yeah, 100%. Probably
That's
why Krampus is more dark.
And they have him because in the picture that I'm seeing with like this whole on Britannica, it has him painted like a goat taking a kid and one kid's okay, but he's beating the bad kids, and so that goes into ancient religions of like the Carthaginians and Baal and all that kind of stuff. So you're seeing this goat dark figure, this what looks like not supposed to be good. There's actually chains in his hand that we're talking about the slavery.
Bro, chains
There's
in
actually
his hand?
Yep.
He tortures children.
So yeah, he torments him.
Bro.
And that's if they're bad. That was the legend.
How is he supposed to know, though? Like, how is he supposed to know whether they're bad or good? Is he like boys with Santa?
So Krampus is actually the son of Hel in Norse mythology, which that's like the underworld. So the scales, all that kind of stuff of the Anubis aspect of knowing if you're good or bad, knowing these things about you.
So Krampus was kind of like a judgment type figure as well.
Yes, a supernatural judgment character. And actually, he does end up getting banned for a time, and this was under the fascist Austrian government from 1934 to 38. They had seen him as a figure of sin, anti-Christian beliefs, old pagan ideologies. People would get arrested for even like supporting this old, this old holiday. Me personally, I think that Krampus, based on the knowledge of it, I think that, but everyone has their cultures and everyone has their things of believing.
Right, but
Me
like
personally,
getting arrested over it, bro. Like them having to
yeah,
get
that
arrested
is
over that, bro. Like me popping out
absolutely
in a
nuts.
Krampus costume, and the next thing I hear is get on the ground. That's not okay.
That is definitely not okay.
Facts. But yeah, I could definitely see,
But
because I feel like with that kind of stuff, it's like, okay, like there's Satan worshiping at that point, you
it's
know?
definitely, yeah, it's definitely pagan ideology. It's definitely pagan belief system and structure.
Right.
Um,
But like you were saying with the Norse, if he was like son of Heel, wouldn't that make him like probably like grandson or uncle Loki?
that would make him, in fact, a grandson of
Oh
Loki. So
crap.
Loki is the trickster.
Oh crap.
So all about that stuff. Loki's a. I think we should go into a whole discussion about Loki himself one time, because Loki
100%.
him is such a influential character in all of the Norse sagas that I feel like, and he's very misinterpreted and misunderstood. I
But
believe that. Well,
apparently,
yeah.
so is Santa Claus. All right,
Okay,
I
so
could get
go
into a
ahead.
little
Tell me
bit.
some of
So,
these.
in Dutch, that's kind of where the whole like Saint Nicholas thing kind of got modernized.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, and then it got transported from Dutch to New Hampshire, or New Amsterdam, from Dutch to New Amsterdam, and then to New York City. And then that's kind of where your modernization came from. The giving of gifts more, the sweets to children, kind of like a lot more of the lighthearted feasting. All right, so they say that Santa Claus owes his like earlier origins, like the original ancient origins, to Odin, that he would be closely related to Odin.
Loki,
Yeah,
Odin,
right.
Norse mythology, a
It's a
lot of
lot of
Norse. Okay.
Norse. So there's also this one story that kind of captured him going into sainthood, because nobody really talks about, okay, so was he like walking around like a saint, always praying for people, always being a positive person, like what is the saint part in Santa Claus really?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
he overheard a elderly man one day, and he was complaining because he did not have enough money for his dowry. Dowry is pretty much, for those who don't know, uh, dowry is all right, so when a woman is getting married to a man, the woman's parents or parent has to be able to give their marrying partner a gift, their husband a gift.
Right.
Uh, it's like a social tradition, like it must be done or else you are getting looked down. It's just how that kind of goes. So he had three daughters, and he couldn't afford the dowry for either of the three. So Santa, this is also like the origin story of the stockings. So Saint
Okay.
Nicholas overheard this, and he filled all three of their stockings with gold, and to kind of get
Oh.
them able for more than a dowry at that point.
Right. For their
Right.
life.
So that was kind of where he got that from, and then that kind of like took him off into branching and then becoming more of a saint figure. But
Okay.
and they do say, this is another story of his sainthood, of his conversion into sainthood. So Santa used to kind of be, I wouldn't say Krampus, but he used to eat children.
So very
Yeah, so very
demonic.
demonic. It was like almost like he was a demon that went around to eat children, and he kind of
Okay.
he got an intervention and reconciled his ways, and then that's what made him start giving to children instead, like kind of like a Saul to Paul, or Paul to Saul type transition, you know,
Saw to Paul.
Saul to
Saw to
Paul
Paul.
type transition.
Yeah. I could see that. Also, and when we're talking about like the Krampus theory and everything, it's making me think about like maybe with the way the world had been changing up until this point, the way that he was being
Right,
seen,
right, right,
the
right.
symbolic aspects of this person, of this entity, was changing over time.
Okay, so you think that the stories of the game of telephone was kind of getting mixed up in those moments of
Right.
the Santa Claus, Saint Nicholas, Krampus, all these different
Yeah.
ideas were getting thrown. It was a very
Yes.
free forming movement, so I can definitely
Yes.
see that. But what hasn't really changed, well, you could say it has changed, is how Christmas was celebrated. Anciently,
Okay.
Christmas was celebrated like same way, feasting, drinking, but here's where it got a little bit weird. So the
Okay.
slaves used to reverse roles with their slave masters.
Wow.
So I honestly don't know how that would even really work, you know? I'm like, what are you doing for
Oh
her and
yeah,
what
it's a
is he
wild
doing for me?
thought.
Like I don't know where it would
Yeah.
get into
What
specifics.
what yeah. We could even yeah, that could be a whole thing in itself. That's pretty
And
crazy.
also like they would always be encouraged to give to the poor. Like you would always give to the poor to kind
Right,
of
right.
keep them, but they did it in a protection sense. They kind of wanted to keep them from getting robbed. They're like, let me give to the
Okay.
poor so that they don't rob everybody, you know? So I
Oh,
don't really that one was kind of hard for me to accept. But the reason why they did that is because carolers would loot. Like in the 1700s as well, a lot of carolers would loot. And yeah, I
wow.
know. I'm like, dang, you know, they come to sing a song, bro. Song Christmas.
We need that money.
Facts. We need the bread. But like, yeah. So they would come to sing songs, but like, dude, honestly, like,
No wonder why in movies people
you
hate
know what I'm
carolers.
saying? Honestly, the music could like kind of take a hike, bro. Like, we need a couple more new songs. I know you've heard that one song, bro. That one dreadful song.
Silent Night?
Bro, no, not Silent Night, bro. I'm talking.
Wait, no,
I'm
that's a
talking
good
about that
song.
one. Hold on, let me hit the vocals real quick. I'm talking about that one that goes like Christmas time is here. Oh my gosh, bro. Happiness.
Yeah.
Like I cannot, bro.
No,
I
please.
cannot, bro.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of Christmas songs anymore. Just it's because you play it every year. It's the same
But
song.
check out.
You
But
know,
check out.
music change.
I knew that song made me feel worse, bro. Like I knew that specific song always made me feel worse. I'm like, I'm on the verge of tears listening to this song, bro. They threw it in Charlie Brown, bro.
Yeah.
But like I was
Wow.
so I did a little
Yeah.
digging into this song. The whole song is played in F minor.
Okay.
So, in case you didn't know, F minor is played usually for depression, funerals. They literally play F minor in funerals, and it pretty much symbolizes groans of misery and longing for the grave. So, if you had that feeling as well, you're not alone. They did it to you intentionally. So yeah, I'm never listening to that song for Christmas again, bro. Even though it gets stuck in my head, so like that might be something else, bro. But yeah,
Huh.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
interesting.
But we always celebrate in our own ways. There's always some love going around, especially this year. I hope there's some
Right.
love always going around this year. Uh,
Absolutely.
so mistletoe. Speaking of love, mistletoe. So the origin of mistletoe, it actually has a pretty dark history as well. Mistletoe came from the Druids. And when the Druids brought the tradition of using mistletoe over to England, they really didn't like that. So they ended up banning mistletoe at first. And then
Okay.
mistletoe was later used. It was used by the York Minster Church in the UK. So the church began to hold special mistletoe services. So this mistletoe service would allow for prisoners, criminals. It don't matter who you are. You could go up to the mistletoe service and get pardoned by bringing mistletoe. You would be able to get pardoned
Wow.
from the crimes that you did
That's
just by
wild.
bringing mistletoe.
That
You
is
know,
wild.
sharing some love.
Crazy. And that's awesome.
I mean,
I think.
it's awesome until it's like, homie stabbed a couple guys. You know, we don't want him bringing in a plant to church. I mean, maybe that plant's like an offering, and they're doing something higher with it. You know, maybe.
Maybe. Who are
am
you
I
to judge, you know?
Who am I to judge?
But I want to just kind of like go into, I think, the wrapping up section of this. Is that okay? I think we've gotten into a lot. Unless you want to keep going, of course.
I mean, we've covered a lot, and then I always know how you're super big on encouraging the people to look at their own religion and origins,
Right.
ancestry.
Absolutely.
Always check those out. It's very interesting for really all different holidays.
Yep.
Really, you know, we all have our own.
You know, and yes, and make sure that if you're the fans listening right now, and if you are, I really appreciate you sticking through to the end of this video. But just research your own cultures. Like, if you're from Japan, if you're from Amsterdam, if you're from Sweden, if you're from Norway, if you're from,
Anywhere, 100%,
Zimbabwe, literally anywhere, South America, any single place in the world. And then if you found something interesting, send it to us. Send it to us through our messages on the YouTube, or Dream Chasers RTR is our Instagram page. Just send it to us, and we might just actually feature what you told us in next year's Christmas.
100%. And also, RoundTableRejects TikTok as well. You could always send things via there. I do want to ask you one more question before we hop off.
Okay.
If you could recreate Christmas, how would you recreate Christmas?
That's a good question.
You hear me?
If I could recreate Christmas, I'd probably have less of the caroling, the singing. I definitely like the lights. I think that the festivities.
Why less singing?
I think that. I mean, just like I feel like they should make more new music. Like, every year should be like a new song for the history of that Christmas.
Mariah Carey, you're cool,
it's like
but you get what I'm saying.
But it's all that energy. It's all that energy of that year, and then you sing it out for the rebirth of the new sun type thing that we're talking
100%.
about. Right?
You never know. You got to have clear boundaries. So I could kind of see you trying to set more clear boundaries with the celebration.
Okay, so back into it. How would you? So you were talking about the music. How would you recreate Christmas? How would you do all that?
I'm cool. I'm cool on the music, but 100%, like you said, we definitely could use a change. Like, if somebody came in here and started just railing on a Christmas album, but like it had to be hype and cheerful at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So you're talking about like keep a more like up to date vibe with it.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe if, like, let's say society had gone through bad issues, we're singing out the bad issues with a positive undertone at the end of the song. The rebirth aspect. Yeah, because I think that we need to know our history, but we also need to understand the history of the current time we're in, and like value these things, value the present moment. You know, that is our gift all the time, in my belief. That's my opinion, but that is our present that we always have. So
you focus on the past, you might get stuck. Plan too far in the future, you never know what days promise. That's why now is a present, 100%.
Exactly. So I think that Christmas is good to like celebrate and remind these things. I wish there was like education behind the Christmas instead of just celebrating things. I would like us to learn more about what we're doing, what we're supporting, what people are putting belief into, right? And all the things that go into it.
100%. I 100% agree. It's all about all about intention and where those true intentions lie and where they've lied since the beginning. Well, we want to thank you guys for tuning into the podcast.
Right.
RTR United, number
why
one.
it's even a thing.
We're expecting to do this almost like a weekly thing. So
You have a good
once again,
night.
thank you,
Peace.
and y'all have a good night. Peace.
Whoa.